Is it really worth moving to Portugal for tax reasons? In recent weeks, a lot of people have contacted us with questions about Portugal, and I'm not surprised. There's a flood of information about its taxation, especially around the new NHR and the new IFICI, which is a tax incentive for investment attraction. People move there thinking they will pay 0% tax and end up with an audit from the Portuguese tax authorities. Yes, they are auditing, even those who already had the old NHR. Let's take a calm look at this. What was the NHR and why is it no longer useful for most people? The NHR was a tax regime to attract foreigners with certain advantages, like 0% tax on dividend from abroad, if they came from countries considered tax havens and the company paying them had paid tax, a fixed 20% personal income tax for certain professions. But even then, many misunderstood it. For example, they used American LLCs, which are transparent entities, meaning they don't pay tax at origin, thinking they could justify the dividends. But that's not how it works. They were paid from a foreign company, but lived and worked in Portugal. That counts as local economic activity and is taxed there. NHR 2.0 IFICI, a much more limited regime. What is offered now is a new IFICI, the tax incentive for investment attraction. They call it NHR 2.0, and it comes with many restrictions. It only applies to people hired by Portuguese company with no more than 50% of revenue from export, startup entities recognized by governments, research and development centers, universities, or very specific institutions. It doesn't work if you're self-employed, a digital entrepreneur, or director of your own company. Also, they require a university degree, at least 3 years of experience, and your exemption must be renewed every year. Oh, and the so-called tax advantage is a 20% personal income tax rate plus mandatory social security, which can easily push your total taxation to 35–40%. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Also, drop a comment below. I love to hear your thoughts, and I'll make sure to reply as many of you as I can. Portugal no longer wants high income profiles. The Portuguese government no longer wants to attract high incomes without control. In fact, they have already raised taxes on foreign pension to 10%, previously exempt. Pensions are no longer covered by the new IFICI regime. Restricted 0% tax on crypto, now only if you sell after 12 months. Are massively auditing the old NHR, especially if they declared zero income while living a high standard of living. Even if they haven't contacted you yet, they might. And if your structure isn't properly done, you could end up with a hefty tax bill. What if I set it up well with an LLC? Sorry, but the answer is still no. If you manage the LLC from Portugal, Portuguese tax authorities can consider that the company has effective management in Portugal. There's a permanent establishment, therefore it must pay taxes as a Portuguese company. Are there real alternatives? If you're a digital entrepreneur or investor, there are European countries fiscally much more interesting than Portugal, such as Cyprus, Malta, or Bulgaria. They offer low tax rates, advantages on dividends and capital gains, and stable long-term regimes. Also, in the case of Cyprus, you can be tax residents with very short stays per year and still spend time in other countries, as long as you don't exceed the 183 days, like in Spain or Portugal, without tax problems. We already work with clients using these structures, and it works really well. The key is to do it right from the beginning. Portugal is no longer the tax haven many sold it as. In fact, it never was without a good structure. And now, with a new NHR, it has become even more restrictive and risky. If you're thinking about changing your tax residence, or if you already have the NHR and doubt you're doing it right, review it as soon as possible. Schedule a free call with our team, and we'll see if we can help you and guide you through the entire process. See you in the next video!